So you've determined the t-value for our little example in the book, and you've determined that the t, so we call this your obtained t-value, is 4.260. You had determined before you got to the point of calculating your statistics the critical t-value for your study, which is 2.042, and so you compare these. And is the absolute value of this t exceeding the value of the critical t? And obviously it is. And so you would write out your summary statement for this probability finding in this way. You reject the null hypothesis that there is no difference between scores collected after condition 1 versus after condition 2 for these subjects. And you conducted a t-test, a paired t-test in this case. Your sample size was your degrees of freedom for the sample size of 40 is 39, degrees of freedom being n-1, right, for the paired t-test. This is degrees of freedom. And the t-value that you obtained is 4.260, and that is significant at a probability of less than 0.05. But now, as you all know, you can't stop here because this only tells you the likelihood of finding a difference between these groups by chance alone. And the likelihood is very small. It's less than 5%. So in this case, because you have a statistically significant finding according to a probability test, you need to determine your effect size. How large is the difference? And is the difference between groups meaningful? So you conduct a Cohen's t for the paired t-test. And the Cohen's d for the paired t-test is a very simple calculation. It's simply the mean difference between groups divided by the standard deviation of the mean difference. And we've calculated these already, and you should see in your notes that these values, the mean difference of course was 2.60, and the standard deviation for that mean difference was 3.84, and if you calculate that through, you find that you have a Cohen's d of 0.68, and I usually like to use a leading zero. 0.68. And as you know from your book, the effect size indicated by this value is moderate. Now notice something. Our t-value was in excess of our t-critical value, was one of our larger t-values obtained, but this in no way indicates to you what the effect size is going to be. It's always important for you to calculate effect size so you understand the meaning of your finding.